everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. My name is Ginger Pierce, and I'm a travel advisor with Marvelous Mouse Travels. I also serve as the manager of our YouTube channel, and we are here tonight to reveal to you the Sweet 16 results of our Marvelous Mouse Madness tournament. We are so excited to bring this tournament to you this year, and we have had so much fun so far voting on our favorite Disney World resort hotel restaurants. Some of the best dining that you're going to find at Walt Disney World is going to be at those resort hotels. And so having the opportunity to talk about these locations and share some of our favorites is so much fun. And so before we jump into the results, just want to encourage you all to feel free to interact with us in the comments if you have questions about any of the dining locations that we talk about. If you love these places, if you don't like these places, if you wish a different one would have won, let us know. And obviously let us know some of your favorite entrees. If there's a thing that you love to order off the menu at any of these different restaurants, we would love to hear about it. But to help me reveal the Sweet 16 results tonight, I have my husband, Evan, joining me, and he is going to kind of run the technical side of things. And he and I are going to talk a lot about food, which is one of our favorite things to talk about. So
sounds like a great evening to me.
It does.
All righty. Well, so let's show the bracket here. Our first matchup that people voted on was Boatwrights at Port Orleans Riverside going up against Hoop-Dee-Doo Review, which is at Fort Wilderness. And it was not close. Boatwrights won. And the results, there's my mouse. How about that? 80% to 20% was not close. That really actually surprises me. I thought it did me too. Way closer than that.
I actually thought that this one would go the other way. I thought that Hoop-Dee-Doo would come out on top with this one. But, Hoop-Dee-Doo, because it is a dinner show, it is a pricier option. And if you are using dining plan credits, then that's something, that kind of comes into play as well as how many credits is it going to cost you. So with Hoop-Dee-Doo Review, it is a lot of fun. But Boatwrights is it's a little bit of a hidden gem and people love it. So I am surprised, but I do think that Boatwrights is a good restaurant. Nancy's surprised too.
Nancy's surprised as well. She said, what? I thought Hoop-Dee-Doo was going to win it all.
Solid contender.
I was shocked, Nancy. I mean, really, I didn't expect Hoop-Dee-Doo to go all the way, but I thought it would beat Boatwrights for sure.
Yeah.
So, but definitely not by 80% to 20%. That shocked me.
That's really surprising.
And Nancy, we're glad you're with us. So welcome. We're glad you're with us.
Thanks for watching.
Let's see our next matchup. We had Chef Mickey's going up against Captain Cook. So character meal going up against quick service meal.
Contemporary versus Polly. Yeah,
that's right. And Chef Mickey's won, and it wasn't very close either. It was 79% to 21%.
No,
that doesn't surprise me.
Me either. This is an iconic character meal in one of the original on-site resort hotels. So it really is, for a nostalgia perspective and for just Disney magic perspective, it's hard to beat Chef Mickey.
Agreed. In the bottom part of that bracket, that side of the bracket, we have Trattoria Al Forno going up against California Grill. So Trattoria Al Forno at Disney's Boardwalk Resort, California Grill at the very top of Disney's Contemporary Resort. Once again, it was not close. California Grill won in a landslide, 70% to 30%. It shocks me that California Grill didn't win by by less margin than Boatwrights beat Hoop-Dee-Doo.
Yeah.
You would think this one, people, maybe not, maybe I'm wrong, but people love California Grill. So Trattoria Al Forno keeping it within, 70 to 30. Not a bad performance for Trattoria Al Forno.
No, it's a great restaurant. And also being right there on the boardwalk, it's a fantastic location. Lots of fun in that area. So it is a solid contender against California Grill. But for me, California Grill would have been the winner here as well.
So last time we were live, we said that Ohana against Whispering Canyon was probably the most drastically different, matchup in the Sweet 16, and ended up being the most drastic, well, actually the second most drastically different lopsided win. Ohana took it away by a landslide, 84% to 16%.
Yeah.
Not close.
Not close at all. And so heading into the Elite Eight, this matchup between Ohana and
I
California
know it.
is going to be really interesting
Woo,
to
buddy.
see how that plays out. Because again, both of these, Ohana is at the Polynesian, which is one of the original on-site hotels. California Grill is in the Contemporary, one of the original on-site hotels. They're both on the Magic Kingdom monorail line. They're both iconic locations for different reasons. They both have fantastic views of the castle. And for California Grill, even more than just the castle, you can see fireworks from both locations. I mean, really, this is a very well matched, match here. So they're very equal in a lot of ways. So I think this is just going to come down to menu. Honestly,
I mean, let's be totally honest. If these two restaurants had been on opposite sides of the bracket, this would have been the championship.
This probably would have been the championship. So it's going to be interesting to see which way this one goes in particular.
And whoever wins it, you got to like the chance to go all the way coming out of this matchup.
For sure.
So on the other side of the bracket, the other half of the Sweet 16, Beaches and Cream going up against Boma. Now, this one ended up in a little bit of a pickle, a little bit. Yep. Beaches and Cream tied Boma 50 to 50%. This was a dead tie.
Mm-hmm.
So, Jen, would you like to explain how we did a tiebreaker here?
Yes. So we asked our kids to vote.
Because our children have eaten at both of these places.
They have. And so we asked them to choose. And so based on that, by literally 2 votes, the winner was Boma between those two.
So I thought that was interesting because I'm sure if you're watching and you heard that our kids were the tiebreaker, you're probably like, oh, well, Beaches and Cream won. Because that of these two, you would think that would be the place that a kid would prefer to go.
Yeah, for sure.
But both of them said Boma.
Without hesitation.
Yeah.
Too. Yeah.
Which speaks volumes of Boma. And it is kid friendly as well, even though it's, potentially somewhat adventurous.
Yeah.
But like Ginger said last time, they do have those fallback safety, go-to standard foods.
It's a good place to let your kids experiment with food, with flavors.
Absolutely. So Boma won. Kudos to Boma. That was a tough matchup right there. And clearly, I mean, really, that what this shows is that you can't go wrong with either one of them because
they're both great.
The same amount, like I voted for Beaches and Cream, but the same amount of people that voted for Beaches and Cream voted for Boma.
Yep, I voted for Beaches and Cream as well.
And so we get to Topolino's Terrace. Now, this next matchup, so obviously it doesn't get closer than Beaches and Cream and Boma because it was literally split 50-50. This next matchup was completely the opposite. Topolino's Terrace won 100% to 0.
Yeah.
So in back-to-back matchups, we had as literally as even as it could possibly be. And then as the next one, totally not even as possibly could be.
Yep. It was a blowout. It was a shutout. And, honestly, I'm not super surprised that it went this way because first of all, I don't know that a lot of people know that Toledo is up there. Coronado Springs is not on a monorail. It's not on the Skyliner. So it's not really a location that people go to unless they're staying there. And I think people just don't know that Toledo is an option. Maybe they've never heard of it. Whereas Topolino's is right there on the Skyliner. It does have characters there. And so, the characters are probably what bring a lot of the crowds to it. So I think this one might just be a word of mouth type situation. People just might not have known about Toledo. So now that you do, give it a try.
Absolutely. So as we move to the last 2 matchups in the Sweet 16, we've got Narcoossee's going up against 1900 Park Fair. So a Grand Floridian matchup here.
Mm-hmm.
And 1900 Park Fair did win. And it wasn't very close either. 71% to 29%. Yeah. I would assume this was based off of familiarity, value, and characters.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, 1900 Park Fair is a lot of people's, one of their favorite character meals because, obviously it's changing when it reopens in April, but in the past, it has always had a lot of kind of more obscure characters. So it was a place to meet the Mad Hatter and Alice and Mary Poppins and the stepsisters and Lady Tremaine and Prince Charming and a lot of characters that you couldn't necessarily meet out in the parks. And I think people always really liked that about it. And I think it'll still be that way. I mean, you're going to get to meet Aladdin and Mirabelle. You're still going to get to meet Cinderella. You're going to get to meet Tiana in a different outfit than what you'll see her in at the parks. So I get it with this one. Plus, it is a good buffet. Like the food is a good quality. There's lots of adventurous and safe options. They got the strawberry soup. It's a great place.
And the matchup that we were kind of most looking forward to was
Mhm.
Yachtsman Steakhouse going up against Storybook Dining because
Yeah.
such a unique matchup because both are just really fantastic places.
Yes.
But once again, it was not even close. Storybook Dining won by a landslide, 81% to 19%.
Yep.
Not even close.
No. And I mean, again, I love Storybook Dining. And I think that the characters here are part of why this restaurant is so popular. The food here is excellent. Even if there were no characters there, I would still want to eat at this restaurant because the food is so good. But you can't meet the dwarfs anywhere else unless it's a Halloween or a Christmas party. You can't
That's right.
meet the dwarfs anywhere else other than at this character meal. And I think that makes it really special. You cannot meet the evil queen anywhere else other than at this character meal in Disney World. In Disneyland, it's a little bit different, but in Disney World, this is the only way to meet her. And so it makes it really unique and really special.
Absolutely. So as we zoom out here, we'll show the whole Elite Eight here. I'll try to make it large as I can so people can see it on the screen. I think that's probably good enough. I'll zoom into 200. How about that? Yeah, there we go. Perfect. All right. So the Elite Eight here. Let's look at these matchups. We got Boatwrights at that's a moderate level resort at Disney's Port Orleans Riverside. Went up against Chef Mickey's. So a deluxe resort there.
Yep.
2 monorail resorts, California Grill and Ohana. It's 2 more deluxe resorts. Boma, a deluxe resort, Animal Kingdom Lodge. Topolino's Terrace, a deluxe resort, Riviera. 1900 Park Fair, deluxe resort, Grand Floridian. And Storybook Dining, a deluxe resort, Wilderness Lodge. So kudos to Boatwrights for being the only moderate level resort restaurant left in the field in the Elite Eight.
Exactly right. Yeah, for sure. And I mean, let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these locations are in the Magic Kingdom area. And then you have one Epcot area, one at Animal Kingdom Lodge, and then one over in the Disney Springs area. Don't sleep on the Magic Kingdom area resorts for dining. This is a really good opportunity. In fact, what a lot of people do is a bit of a monorail crawl, if you will, have maybe appetizers at one of the lounges at one resort and then go over and have dinner at one of the restaurants at another resort and then go over and maybe grab dessert at a different one. That way you get to try out, lots of different options and see the different hotels. But there's such great dining in this area. And it's a fun thing to do on a rest day because from some of these resorts, you can actually see the Magic Kingdom fireworks from the resort. So you could have dinner, then you could go out and watch the fireworks, and then you can go back to your hotel and get some sleep and get ready to go to the park the next day. It is a nice way to have a lot of fun without it costing you a ton of money.
And kudos to the Contemporary Resort for being the only resort with more than one restaurant in the Elite Eight.
That's true. That's a great point. So I think this is a really strong Elite Eight. If I were to guess how I think this is probably going to shake out, I think we'll probably see Chef Mickey's come out on top. I really don't know about California and Ohana. I think Ohana might barely edge out California Grill. And I think Topolino's will win I don't know about 1900 Park Fair versus Storybook Dining. I think it'll be close, but I think maybe Storybook Dining will take that. And so if I'm, guessing the final four, I'm going to say it's end up being Chef Mickey, California, or no, I'm sorry, Ohana, Topolino's, and Storybook Dining. But I have been wrong before.
Here's how I'm voting. I'm going to vote Chef Mickey's, and I think it'll win. I'm going to vote California Grill, but I think Ohana's going to win.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to vote Topolino's, and I think it'll win. And I'm going to pick Storybook Dining, and I think it'll win. I keep going back to Storybook Dining, the best entree I ever had at Disney World.
Mm-hmm.
California Grill, just amazing watching the fireworks from out there while you eat and going out on that balcony and watching them. I mean, you can't go wrong with any of these,
right.
But those two, in my opinion, will hopefully match up in the championship.
Yeah, if I'm voting for California Grill over Ohana, but I don't think that necessarily the world at large would vote the same way that I would based on past experience. Totally. Yeah, when we've done things like this. But that's our Elite 8. So the way that the voting for this will work is that tomorrow in the stories on Facebook and Instagram on the main Marvelous Mouse Travels accounts, you will see the opportunity to vote for the Elite 8. And please do that. We love when people vote and interact with this. And then we will be back live again on Saturday night at 7 p.m. Eastern when actually, actually, that may have to be 8 that night because Evan and I it'll have to be 8 p.m. that night because Evan and I have Easter festivities that we are participating in that day. So that one will be at 8 p.m. Eastern back here live on this channel, and we will reveal the results of our Elite 8 round of voting. But thank you all so much for those of you that watch. Thank you for those that are voting and those who interact with us in the comments. If you happen to catch this video when it's no longer live, feel free to still pop your questions in the comments. We do monitor these videos for those, and we're happy to come back and address those questions at a later date. But in all that said, thank you for participating with us, and we will see you guys again on Saturday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. So thank you so much for watching. Night, everybody.
Bye-bye.